So here we are machining the 3 crown castle coupling for the power feed, so that effectively goes on the other end of the bed. And I made a stuff up, the second cut 120 degree shift, I went in the wrong direction, and this is what we've ended up with. So I'm going to have to do that again, yeah, got to show the bad with the good. Look at that, perfect fit, apart from that bit there. Oh yeah, that's mostly there. So I've got 2 of the teeth. That's what happens when you go 120 degrees the wrong way. Okay, I'll use this to start with, and then we'll make a new one eventually. So here's the power feed that I've been working on. As you can see, there is the engage. I intend on having a couple of pins coming out that meets the bracket, so that'll just slide, and maybe a couple of spring-loaded balls just into some grooves, and that will give it the ability to just pull it out and then push it back in again. And all self-contained, so it's got a variable speed and an off, and then it's got a left and right direction control. There is the board inside there, so I 3D printed the case, and then there'll be some covers and bits and pieces like that. So I'm trying to not replicate the stuff that's on the market, but using a worm drive is the easiest way of getting those reduced speeds. So at the moment it's just running off a 18 volt lithium ion battery. I'm tempted actually just to print a how would you put it, a mount, so that I can just interchange the batteries, because you don't use it a lot, and it doesn't use a lot of power. So here's the feed. Oh. So I'll get back to working on that, but in the meantime, the next video that's going to come online, it's hard with one hand. So in the meantime, I'm moving on to the DROs. So the DROs arrived, so that's the first thing that's going to go on. Next video will probably be, actually might be a combination of DRO and the power feed. So we have a power outage, and not on for another 3 hours. So I thought, got some power tools, let's start installing the DRO. So that is the X-axis. So that's being installed. I'm just doing the Y now, and then I will go on to the Z. The control panel is, or the displays being mounted. That is just from where's the battery? So there was a 5/8 tapped hole in the bottom of that casing, so I just drilled and tapped a 10mm into the bottom of a 5/8 bolt, Where are we? There we go. Yep. And then some rubber grommets and a flange 10mm nylock. And now I have that all on the side. So even though it's a pretty busy, messy side, it's probably in the best position. You know, I can reach, oh, I just put the torch, magnetically put the torch there. And so yeah, cool. So I'll carry on, and then when the power's back on, we'll be able to do a demo. So here's the Y-axis scale mount. I've actually moved it even further down. I think it's going to be tidier if it's sort of like down and running along parallel to the edge of the tray. That's cast, so it's not going to move, and it should all be nice and tidy. So I'll start putting it together. There we go. Bar painting and finishing the bottom bracket, but there we go. Scale is zeroed to the top of the bed, and plenty of room under there. I was going to take it a bit lower, but I thought, well, if there's any flood coolant, then having it 10mm higher, nothing's going to get into the internals. So now I just make up a little plate, mark that off, and drill and tap, and away we go. So now we have the Y and the X axis mounted. So trying to make it as tidy as possible and as clean as possible. So steel bracket or steel flat bar mounting the glass, and then the reader has got a little folded stainless steel bracket mounted to the base. The reader on the X-axis is tapped into the carriage, and the glass sliders tapped into the bed. So that's it. No spaces, nothing. Nice and smooth, nice and tidy. A little bit of adjustment, but it all got leveled off with a DTI. Set this with the digital scale, so that's running 0. I haven't done the Z-axis yet, but I'll move on to it. There we have 170mm travel on the Y-axis. I should have 180, but because of this little bit here that I'm going to have to machine a little more out of to get the extra, I've just put a block of wood in there. So there's your extra 10mm, just so that I don't bang the scale into the column. I will put some covers on them. I think I'm going to just maybe, I'm not too sure, maybe I put some tap into there, or maybe just put some riv nuts into those, and so I can just hold the covers on with a couple of cap screws, and then they can be removed if I need to get a little bit more room at the back. The front cover should be relatively easy as well. I've left room under there, and then I've just cabled up the cables. That's sort of fixed, so that'll get tidied up. So there we go. Oh, which way is it going to go? Oh, bang, bang, bang. The other thing I've done is remove the handles off the quill. I've never used them, and they just seem to get in the way. I pretty much use the vertical wheel, and I can throw one in if I need to. Just get them in the box underneath, and then they don't whack away at the DRO. making the bracket for the chip guard that goes behind the carriage, and I'm using the power feed in manual mode. Just up the feed to 50%. Using the DRO. Past halfway. So there's the modified chip guard that goes over the back of the bed. So I've built a new plate and lowered the chip guard down, and then it's mounted at the back. So let's see how it looks when the y-axis is all the way back. So there it is. It's hard up against the block of wood that I'm using as the temporary stop. So that's where we've got to. So we need to come back 10 mil here, so and that's going to be our maximum travel. We've got room, but with the guard over the top and the concertinaing of the chip guard, yeah, so we'll see how we go. But as it is, it's good now, so that's all covered, and we're not going to crash into the glass scale or the DRO. So yeah, so that's probably it for today, and tomorrow I will move on to the Z-axis. Yeah, I think that should be relatively easy, but so far it's gone really well. So there's the Z glass slide mounted. That's about as minimal as I can go, and it's well out of the way. Oh, there we go. But have the full 130 mil travel, and that's it. Bottom's out. It's I mean, if you had the feed release rod in there, then it would be in that same position. So I think that's probably as tidy as I can get it. So I'll probably put the feed release rod back there, and as per the other video, might slot this so that it can lock in there and then go in for the feed. Where's that feed lever? Nope. Yeah. There we go, locking in, and then it'll have to trigger. So that's it, DRO mounted. Need to make up some other bits and pieces, and I will run it for a week or so before I get in and paint everything. I know I just need to have a little bit of a tweak here, a little bend there because it's just got a little bit of tension, but a slight bend in that, and then that will slide nice and tidy, runs parallel, and then I'll tie up the cables, give that a tidy up. But that's it, until the next one.
Please add your thoughts and comments, like and subscribe. Let's grow this channel.